We're gonna put that on YouTube now.
Don't you dare.
That's gonna be on YouTube
Sir.
from here on out. So,
That was too funny.
the red light means it's going, doesn't it, Terry?
Absolutely right.
We had a,
It was funny because I told her, I said, you want on camera up, but it said at the same time, I'm pushing the button. I didn't know she was going to.
we had a media relations, seminar one time. And, it was about when you do television interviews or whatever.
Okay.
And, the scenario was that, you know, this person's mad because they didn't get their, money's worth or something like that. And so the reporter said, I just want to off the record comment, as you can see, the red light's not on, so we're not recording. So the woman that was playing the part of
I love that. Love you.
the company, she said, well, that person's just an idiot. They don't know what the blank they're talking about.
Okay.
So he said, thank you, but that's what we needed.
For sure.
Well, they take about 5 minutes to prepare the shot, and then they come on and say, breaking news, company declares, you know, that the customer's an idiot. And what it taught you was that whether that red light's on or not, if you see a camera in there, you know, you better be alert that you could be being recorded or whatever. So in light of that, that's why I asked Terry, he said he's got a red light that means it's on and active, and so I guess I'm on. But anyway, thank you for being here, and thank you, Terry, for the great job you do recording each time. It's great to be here on our first meeting in August. Time is flying. Saw a bunch of kids out in the hall, looked like they were pool ready, and I said that'll probably be wrapping up very shortly, won't it? Because they look school age or whatever. But anyway, good afternoon, morning to you. And at this time, I'm going to ask Miss Peggy Taphorn if she will give our invocation or lead us in the invocation. Please stand.
And we're going to do the Rotary prayer, so if you know that.
Okay.
Please join in with me. Dear Lord, open our eyes that we may see, open our ears that we may hear, touch our hearts that we may love, clear our minds that we may think, strengthen our hands that we may work. Amen.
Thank you. And starting a little bit early, but we have a tremendous speaker, very important program.
No pressure.
No pressure. Very important program, and I want to make sure he gets time for that today. And we all know Tommy Rosser, and I'll probably tell him in a little bit, just come on up and start rather than give him an introduction. But what a great job he does for all the Rotary clubs in this area, and thank you for your commitment to Rotary, Tommy. Today, I think we have one guest, is all that I see right now. This Charles, you want to introduce your guest?
My wonderful better half, Martha.
Good deal. I saw a little cartoon the other day, and this is not aimed at anyone in particular, but the police had a man and had him up against the wall, you know, like this, and the police was saying, anything you say can and will be held against you. He said, I know, I'm married. But I'm sure that's not the way it is for any of us, but I did enjoy that. But anyway, I don't think we have any visiting Rotarians. Just to mention to you that the board did meet prior to this, and there's always a lot of discussion, a lot of information goes out, but we want you to know you have a dedicated group that's willing to come in and put in some extra time and talk about how to improve the club, how to strengthen the club, and just make sure everything's going okay. And I certainly appreciate it. It's a vital part for anyone that's going to stand up here and be president. It's a vital part to have some other folks that participate and willing to give some extra time. And thank you all very much for that. And I don't know how many of you got to, before you came, got to see the District 7690 newsletter. I understand it should be on in my emails when I get back, but one of our members were, I think that was front page stuff, wasn't it?
No, it was on page 7 or 8.
Well, I was trying to make it really important.
It is on the front
but,
page, come to think of it.
It's on page 78, but it does show John and his family, and thank you for that. Let's see. At this time, I'm going to ask Neil if he will give us a short, it don't have to be short, give us a financial report, please, sir. Abbreviated, abridged, whatever you want to call it.
Just a very, very quick, we're working on building and maintaining a budget for the year, and I do the operational account. Jim Miller does the charitable account. Of course, Jim isn't here this year, or right this week, so he'll probably have to give that to us next week or whatever. But right now, as of the start of the year, we currently have $1,521 in the checking account, so we're in relatively good shape. We've paid off the Rotary International dues. We still have to pay the district dues, and then other than that, we just have our meals when we're here as our normal expenses. But we're in fairly good shape, and if anybody wants a copy of what we have, I'd be happy to either email it to you or bring extra copies in next time. But right now we're in pretty good shape.
Thank you. Thank you.
Financially.
As Neil mentioned, district dues, international dues, and meals, that's almost exclusively, the cost of our invoice that we send out. And so thank you for that report, and thank you for sending in your dues. Keep those coming. Do we want to go ahead and do your report and bragging bucks?
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you, President Morris. Okay, today, do we have any announcements? Anybody got anything to bring before the club at this time? Larry, yeah, thank you.
That's fine, that's fine. Yeah, to let you know how we're doing on membership, it's almost another positive report, just like Neil's report. Our goal for our club is to have 45 members by the end of Morris's term. We are now at 43, thanks to Debbie, who came in last week, and we're really appreciative of all that Debbie brings to us because she's got so much Rotary experience. And just prior to Debbie coming in, Rick Clements came in, and the paper, can we find the paper? Because they spelled his name wrong.
Oh, it was spelled wrong? Oh, yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. Anyway, and he's got a neat story to tell, and we were hoping he was back from Canada to be able to tell a story about his family and Don Douglas's family, but we'll leave that to Rick to explain. And I don't know whether Don's going to be here when Rick comes back, because you're on the way to Spain? Italy? Because I heard you talking Barcelona too. Okay. And that's for the second half of August? Or? Okay. And every time we get in the paper, we have to share it with something that John's doing. So here's I can send this around if you haven't seen it, but it's two of our pictures with one of John's with the Sanford Real Estate. Okay, yeah, we started off with 42 members. At the end of the year, we reduced the number of people. When I say we started the membership year, that starts April 1st. So it's April 1st to the end of March to keep track of your membership growth. So from April 1st to the end of June, we lost about 5 members for a variety of reasons. Some to move, whatever. But anyway, So we had to go from 38 to 45 in total. There's a really good chance that we're going to get to the 45 by the end of this third quarter, because we're looking forward to Larry Thomas coming in, Jeremy's dad coming back to Rotary, Chad coming in, Spivey, and we'd love to have that be the same day because it's such a great family connection of father and son. And Mary Salas Marches, who's replacing Jeff over at First Citizens, she's intending to join, but she'd like to have Jeff come down from Raleigh to be with her for that, to introduce her to our club. And really good news, the Carolina Trace Country Club plans to join again as a corporate member. They're going to do a program for us on September 27th about all the changes. And if you haven't seen what's going on at the club, you'll be very interested in what they have to do and how they're reaching out to the community and getting more involved in the community. So when they do the program here, and at the same time we hope to bring them in as corporate members, they're going to invite us to come out to be a part of an open house for the community or a separate arrangement. They haven't quite decided yet, but it would be one of our Family of Rotary events, and it'll probably be the second part of October that they would do that. So we welcome them back into the club. Some very good leadership that we have now at Carolina Trace, and we're really pleased with that. So anyway, good outlook for our membership. Thanks.
Larry, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other announcements come before the club at this time? All right, how about brags? Jamie, you got anything you're proud of today that you want to share with the club?
Yeah, well, let Terry go.
Come on, Jerry. Yeah, what you got? Come on up. Yeah, come on up, brother.
Come on up there, Mr. John.
You want me?
Big Bad John.
Wait a minute, let me get out of this picture here.
I want to brag.
What do you set me up for?
I want to brag on Big Bad John. John, you are bigger than me, so I can call you Big Bad John. John, when I call, say, hey, look, we need a computer so we can show the Rotary Club when I'm punching them for 3 minutes. Johnny on the spot. So I want to brag about Johnny being Johnny on the spot today, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry.
I'll do mine now.
Go ahead, Jamie.
So I'll brag on Larry Aiken for not giving up on me over about 7 or 8 years of advice.
Thank you, sir.
And I've almost got $1 for every year.
How about 15 years?
Oh yeah, today's my anniversary. Yeah, I probably. Yeah, 15 years married to my wife Sandra.
And a new opportunity for her right here in Lee County.
Yep,
helping out her at the college, correct?
Yeah, she's taking a job with CCCC, so it'll be the first time in our 15 years of marriage we've actually worked in the same county.
That's a blessing in itself right there. Congratulations.
The same thing she did in Fayetteville?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And close.
And close.
All right, anybody other? Peggy Taphorn, yes, we'd love to hear from you.
So this is to thank my education department at the Temple. We did, and I had to ride the piggy bank to get that done. We opened A Midsummer Night's Dream last night, which is our Shakespeare Conservatory, which has moved inside at the Temple because of the weather conditions outside at Depot Park. And they did a beautiful job. So we have 35 kids performing in the evenings now through Saturday night. If you're not busy, come on out. It's free because it was supposed to be free in the park, so it's free at the Temple, and it's air conditioned. And they're doing a wonderful job. The show's A Midsummer Night's Dream. And we've also started this week our final production of Aladdin Jr. #2, and there are 56 kids in that. So the Temple has about 90 kids a day running through our doors, and that makes my heart happy. So come and support us.
All right, Larry.
Yeah, and this one's for For Bud, everybody probably saw in the paper that Bud has announced that he's planning to retire and return to South Carolina next year. Yeah, I saw him just as we were finishing our board meeting, and he was coming in the door, and I said, you know, our board voted and we rejected your retirement and want to keep him here, and everybody wants to keep you here, but we really, really appreciate what you've done for this community. And one other thing that we had at the board notes, whoever replaces you, we hope he's a Rotarian.
Thank you, Larry. Don, you got something to brag on today.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Peggy said. I was one of the people there last night, and it is a great show and a lot of fun.
And it starts at what time tonight?
8 o'clock tonight.
8 o'clock tonight.
And it's tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday night.
Thank you. 8 o'clock tonight, Temple Theater. Okay, any other brags? Yeah.
I've got two, one personal, one professional.
Thank you.
First, I want to brag on my team at the hospital. We're in the process of replacing our electronic medical record, which is one of those things that if we do it right, patients won't know the difference. It's not one of those things that you can show here. Here's our new EMR. But all this week they've been going through a testing phase, and it's involved every department of the hospital, every department manager, and a lot of our staff. So they'll finish that up today, and then we'll begin the process of rolling out the record. So real happy about that. The other is personal. I know I haven't been here. I think it's probably been about 2 months since I was at a meeting. Part of the reason why I haven't been here is that we've been in the process of relocating. So as of about 2.5 weeks ago, my family and I all live under the same roof for the first time in about 9 months. And so save for maybe a dozen boxes or so, we're about completely moved into our house here in Sanford. So.
Great. Well, that is fantastic. Thank you. All right, I'm going to brag here on my 15-year-old dog who made it one more time to the trip to the beach to get some sand in its paws. Let me tell you what, the dog was a showstopper at the campgrounds, man. I had the little girl from across the street every day. She'd come over, can I play with your dog? You know, can I take your dog for a walk or whatever? She just stopped people in the track. I'd be walking her, people would be like, hey, can I pet your dog? Now, one time she did, my wife and I were kind of busy. She did wander out into the road. Of course, it's only 15 miles an hour. Canadian couple comes by and they're out there, your doggy, your doggy, your doggy. It was fantastic. I was proud to take the dog with me to the beach one more time. Any other brags?
Thank you, man.
Back to you,
Thank you
President
very
Morris.
much. Great
Thank
play.
you.
A couple of things real quick, like, of course, and we'll be sending these out, but on August 16th, no Rotary meeting that day, and then on August 21st, which is a Tuesday, that's our social, Family Rotary Social, and that'll be at the Camelback Brewing Company, as you know, up there in Lowe's Food Shopping Center. Looking forward to that evening.
Did we
District Governor
coordinate with that with the
23rd.
birthday celebration?
The district governor.
Yes, District
Close,
Governor will be
right,
here on the
close.
25th. Anything else? If not, we're very glad to have Tommy Rosser today, and he's going to come and talk to us about Polio Plus, I believe, and very important.
Well, it's close, Morris, close. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. It gives me a little bit of break from the traveling just to come here local for a minute, so it's really nice. But today I'll speak to you something you've seen the sign foundation. A lot of you know about the Rotary Foundation. But you know what? The more I get into the district and to the international level, you really don't see the power of the Rotary Foundation. It is really powerful. And right now, our district has a goal of hitting $1 million between November of this past year to January of 2019. So we're right in the midst of that, and I will tell you that we're over halfway there. So today I want to talk to you about that. I heard something really interesting. I went to the charter membership, a charter club of Mevin, Ann Matthews, who is a great Rotarian. She was vice president of RI at one time. And she was there speaking, and she said, you know, there's two parts to Rotary. There's Rotary International, where you have the offices, and then you have the foundation. And the foundation is what gets the job done. If we didn't have the foundation, we wouldn't be able to get anything done at all. And that impressed me right there. I hadn't thought about that, but that is the truth. The foundation is the gears, it is the wheels that keeps Rotary where it's at today, and the effect it has on people in the world today. And the mission of the Rotary Foundation, Rotary International, is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. Now, when we look at Rotary, this is Art Klump. A lot of you know who Art Klump is. If you don't, he was one of the starters of the foundation. He says, Rotary's tomorrow depends on what we do today. That is very true. What we do today and we give to the foundation depends on what happens in the future of Rotary. Now, we need to be concerned about Rotary and about the world. If we're going to make a difference down the road, years to come, that's where the foundation comes in to look at. Now, as I mentioned, we're in the $1 Million Challenge, and there's a dinner, and it goes through January 31st. I think it's February the 12th, sometime in February 2019. RI President Barry Rassin's coming down to speak in our district. Now, a lot of you may not realize, but our district is one of the most powerful and most respected in the world for foundation. We give tremendously to the foundation. Barry Rassin has told us he will come down and speak at this dinner for us. He cleared his schedule because, if you don't know, he's all over the world right now, but he's coming to speak at this. And it's going to be a great dinner to be able to celebrate giving $1 million to the foundation. Now, the types of things that we're doing, look at the foundation itself. Got the top rating from Charity Navigator. Nobody knows what Charity Navigator is. You need to research it. They go through everything with charities, and we got one of the top ratings there is. 91 is the world's outstanding foundation. 91% of everything that we give goes back into programs. Very little. You cannot tell me many organizations that has 91% going back into programs. Look it up. You go to Charity Navigator, you can see. Look at all the charities you give to and see how much actually goes in there. Top 10 charity is Changing the World, is carefully oversighted by Rotarians. We as Rotarians overlook how powerful our foundation is. And the Rotary Foundation is doing good in the world because of you as Rotarians. No matter who's up, Barry Rassin will tell you today, the key to anything is you as members of this club. And as District Governor Claudia Kennedy is saying everywhere she goes, the president reflects the club. And we always got to look at this, but the Charity Navigator, this is strong when you look at this. You just really don't know how strong our foundation is to get that kind of rating. Now, there's two parts to the foundation. Is the annual fund. Now, when we give our sustaining memberships, which is $100 a year, I think you're a sustaining club, okay? And we give our cash donations to it. It goes to the annual fund. Now, the annual fund, it goes to people, helps people around the world live better lives today. But it also helps us. All the money that we give to the annual fund is cash, okay? The endowment we're going to talk about later on, that is what you're going to leave behind. But everything that you give, 50% of it comes back to district designated funds. Rotary loves acronyms. It's DDF, okay? DDF, you hear that? That's what it is. District designated funds. And I'm going to give a shout out right now for Larry Laster and his team with the foundation this past year. This past year, we just finished up through June. Anybody know how much our district raised for the annual fund this year? $530,000. Now, that's great. That's great. That is a record for our district. Now, what you don't understand is that after 3 years, this money being up in there, Rotary takes the 3 years and they take the interest off that money and they use it for operating expenses for the foundation. Then they take 50% of it and they give it to the World Fund. Then they take 50% of that money and it comes back to the district. Okay? This is where your district grant money comes from, that you're able to get every year. And I think this club partners with Sanford and Pittsburgh and Solid City, been using most of that money for the Rise Against Hunger and what we do. But you really don't understand that this is huge. Now, thank goodness to these guys that raised the money this year. The year that I'm district governor, guess who gets that $250,000 coming back? Yes, me. I'll have the largest budget for district grants ever in the history of our district. So we need to take advantage of these district grants, DDF. And it all comes back to what you give as a club and going in there. District grants address local needs. This is where you're taking money that you get back and use it for your local areas and local needs. Now, every Rotarian every year, we try to give $100. And last year, well, this is really actually 2016, 2017, because they hadn't updated yet. $140.1 million was given to the annual fund by Rotarians. 1,260 global grants approved. That's amazing. $111.5 million was invested in humanitarian grants. And countless lives were changed because of what you did and given to the foundation. Now there's 6 areas that Rotary focuses on with the foundation: promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. Now 2 of them I'm going to tell you about right now. As young as, and I'm really proud of this club, Pittsburgh Club. You know, I had a little something to do with help getting that club started. That club has already taken on a global grant. They are working right here in this area with children and mothers in Uganda. They're working with the Uganda Rotarian Club and getting that started. They are working on that. The other one I want to talk about is growing local economies. I don't know if you've heard or not, but our district is doing a global grant. This is probably one of the first ones I've ever heard that, as in the U.S., we're getting a global grant. And the global grant they're doing is in Greensboro right now. And it's what they're going to do is they're going to teach, working with North Carolina A&T, they're going to use students and they're going to have and grow herbs in this water-type forestry. And these herbs, like basil and all these things, they're going to take these items and they're going to sell them to restaurants to produce money to be able to feed the hungry. Because if you don't realize it, I think it's 54% of the children in Guilford County are either on reduced lunches or no lunches at all. So we've got hunger in this country. But this grant, and John Spillman is the one that's doing this, just got word yesterday, that global grant was just approved yesterday by RI for $35,000 to get it started. So that's the first global grant. So you see, it doesn't have to go overseas. A lot of it comes right back to us, and it all comes because of the Rotary Foundation. Now let's talk about the endowment. Planning and Rotary, we support these life-changing programs forever. It's not just 1 year, 2 years, but these programs affect forever. Now, there's ways to give. All right, first of all, you give to the annual fund, you can give cash. All right? Now, for the dinner, the $1 million dinner, what they're asking is to be able to attend is if you give $10,000 in cash or you give $10,000 in the endowment. Okay? The minimum is $10,000. They want more, of course, but they want more. Major donors recognized as given when the lifetime combined total cash given to an individual reaches $10,000 and the level 2 and down here. Now all this is cash, okay? And Arch Clump Society membership is $250,000. Ladies and gentlemen, we have several people in our district that are Arch Clump. So there is a lot of people that I did not know, but they are Arch Clump members in our district. And that's one of the reasons we have such a strong district in giving. Now, the other way is the bequest society is when you leave money in your estate. Now, it's not like it used to be where you had to have a codicil to the will or anything. It's just a request that this money is left behind to them. What they do is Rotary takes a letter and they send it to your loved ones, and they ask, it was one of your requests to have money sent to the Rotary Foundation. They're not going to send the law after you. They're not going to do all these. They're just asking, would you give it? Most of the time, Rotarians will do it. And there's a lot of levels here on the endowment, bequest society. There's 10,000, 25,000, 50, 100, 250, 500. And, you know, I know one that's recently looking at the $500,000 range. So there's a lot of people going to leave money back to the foundation. If you get to 25,000 or more, you get to name which one of those 6 areas you would like your money to go to. If it's clean water, if it's education, or whatever you might want to do. So this is the thing about the bequest society. You can take money and do it. Remember, if you sign up as a bequest society member, you're invited to the dinner on the $1 million. But the big thing is, it's going to benefit down the road tomorrow anybody that Rotary does. And this is what I was just talking about. You get the discretion of naming the fund, where you might want to do it. You even get to name the fund. You know, like if you wanted to say Larry Aiken Fund or Morris Cleveland, you can have the fund named anything you want at $25,000 or more. And you can make it in cash, or you can put a request out there. Some people have said, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the cash. That'd be fine. Rotary will take that right away. Okay? So it doesn't have to wait till you die or anything like this. And I had a lady ask me the other day, she says, well, what if the money's not there and I've had to use it up? I said, that's okay. They're not going to go after the family or nothing. It's going to be a request. That's all it is, a request to go in there. The reason I'm telling you this, I hope everyone will consider, whether you can give $1,000 a year, $10,000 a year, or whatever, consider the bequest. Because that bequest, and most of you are probably benefactors where you're given $1,000 upon your death. But think about the bequest, $10,000. And, you know, that can be given a lot of different ways. But there's also recognitions you can get, club recognition, we've got those. And then Paul Harris Fellows. And there's also Paul Harris Society members. I think there's several in here, Paul Harris Society members, where you're committed to giving $1,000 a year. Paul Harris Society members give $1,000 a year. And that's what this one right here is. And what you're doing is you don't have to give it all at one time. You can do $85 a month. And it just comes out of your credit card or your account or whatever every time. And it doesn't take you long to get up to the major donor, which is $10,000. And I'm kind of rushing through this because I want to get to the main part here. And so it talks about easy giving through, this is Rotary Direct, where you can give it monthly, quarterly, annually, or whatever. And it's automatic giving through Rotary Direct, and you can do it online, you can make a check out. You know, I think mine's set up on my credit card every month. So it just comes out every month to what I want to give to the foundation. So I don't have to worry about sending it off or anything. And I think this thing might have moved off here, I'm sorry. And any gift that you give makes an impact. I was amazed at this, $10 gives a mosquito bed net for an area. $26.50 gives books. And $1,000 gives a midwife vocational training. So what little bit or whatever you can give gives a big impact to the area. And so how can they give? First of all, you can give cash, which is a major donor recognition. And what I'm asking today is this, is if you're interested in knowing more about how you can make an impact and be a part of the $1 Million Challenge, please see me. And I'll meet with you one-on-one. I can tell you that if you want to leave something bequest, leave it behind you. The foundation has legal documents. They have people that will help you set it up, the paperwork. It's real simple, okay? And Carl Davis, who's the zone director of it, he'll come and meet with you, and he'll help you design the way you want to leave the money or anything like this. You can do it through a pledge as being a major donor. Stock. If any of you have stock that has a very high appreciation in it, and you don't want it, you can give it to IRAs. If you don't want to pay the tax on all that money, you don't need it, you might want to give that. That's a big tax advantage to you and not have to pay the taxes. And charitable. You can look at charitable annuities where you can give it to them and pull income off it. They'll take it and the balance is left off. The charitable remainder trust that you've got up here. Life insurance, bequest. Say I'm just going to give it out of my estate or whatever. Beneficiary designations. You can also use this DAF as Donor Advisor Fund, where you can start giving money into the foundation and it actually collects for a while and you can be giving out bequests there. The idea is that you have to think about how you want to help out with the foundation. Now I will tell you, Claudia she'll say this when she comes here. She says that every time I've been with her, and I've been on her about, I think 10, 11 right now so far. I don't know how many I've been on with, but when she speaks, she says, she's found out the more you give, the more you get back. And that's the way this is. The more you give to the foundation, the more you will get back. But not only you get back, but your children and anybody else behind you. Think of how we impact the world. 91 cents on every dollar you give comes back in use. And I thank you for that. If you're interested in knowing more about how to do any of these things, see me. The bequest is so easy. No money up front. It's just a request when you pass on. And but I'll take a $10,000 check from anybody today if they want to take it. Fine. But anyhow, I appreciate the time. I know time's getting close here. Any questions that I have about any of this?
What's the date of the dinner again, January?
No, February the 12th, I believe it is. February 12th,
So
2019.
we get our foundation dinner in November?
Yeah, this will be a separate one. This will be the $1 Million Challenge. And to be a part of it, it would be a big thing. But, you know, it's the first time our district has taken on doing $1 million in 1 year. And I think we're going to reach, I think we're going to blow the doors off. I really do. But you have an opportunity to participate.
Tell me, where does our district now rank among the giving?
At one time, I think it was third.
That's
Yeah.
what I recall.
Either second or third, and I think Japan is the number one, but I'm not sure. It changes all the time. And this is totally different than polio. Okay, this is a foundation, polio. Somebody asked me the other day, if I give the Quest Society, does it go to polio? No, it doesn't, because RI does not recognize that polio will be still in existence when you die. They're this close. Right now, last report I saw was 11 cases in the world of polio. It's almost eradicated. And 8 of those in Afghanistan. So we're about there. So any other questions? Just see me afterwards. Thank you, and I appreciate what everybody does. And if you have any questions about this or you want to talk to me more about it, I'll be glad to help you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. A lot of organizations, I saw that 91%, a lot of organizations have been brought to their knees when word gets out that they're in the 50 and 60%. And so that is a tremendous accolade for Rotary Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a reminder of one thing. I think David Spivey is going to be working on the programs for September. If any of you have a program that you'd like, be sure and get up with someone, myself, or we'll send out the names. But if you have someone visiting that would give us a great program, we'd sure love to hear it. And we want these meetings to be meaningful and beneficial to all. But anyway, I'm going to ask Van if he will lead us in the 4-way test.
I'd love to, sir. First, is it the
Truth. This is fair to all concerned. Will it build goodwill and friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I open this now. It is closed.